Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be all about my competition setup. It's basically going to just be talking about what I do to get prepared for a competition and what I take, as well as some different bits that I've now added to the gun to make it a little bit more special and a little bit easier for me when I'm at a competition. So as you can see, I'm shooting the FX Impact Mark III. I've paired that with the Element Helix. That is a 6-24x50. Now, the Element Helix is a great scope anyway because the removable turret caps, so you can change your zero. It's got great zero stop, side parallax. So with these turrets, they're actually removable. So what I do is take this off and I stick all the little stickers on at 10-yard intervals. Obviously, I've predetermined all of that when I go to the range. So I zero in at 10-yard intervals and then stick the stickers on accordingly. I either make notes in a little book, or you can use an app called Stellar Pro. It will cost you, I believe at the moment it's around £10-ish. But yeah, basically you chronograph the rifle, you let it know what grain weight you're using for your pellets or slugs, and then you just input all the details of your scope, your gun, the feet per second, etc. And you just type in what sort of yardage you're shooting at, and it will tell you how many clicks up or down you need in order to get those different trajectories, I guess. So now talking more about the gun rather than just the scope, although I will go back to the scope in just a little while. It's basically just the standard M3, standard silencer. You don't obviously have to use a silencer for competitions, but you know, it might help, especially maybe not putting off other shooters. I have set the trigger on this rifle just so. For me, I like to have like a clean, crisp break, and that is exactly what I've managed to get on this M3. I'm not going to give too many tips away because I don't want to give too many of my secrets away for how I set my gun up. But you know, if anyone is interested, I'm sure I can let you know. Moving further back down the rifle, I have fitted the Sabre Tactical cheek riser. So I can actually adjust the cheek riser so I get that perfect eye relief and I'm at the perfect height for my scope. Right at the back here, I've got the Sabre Tactical monopod. Now this monopod is great, especially for competitions, because you can adjust it forward and back so it shoulders perfectly every time. Even for bench, that can be great. And then obviously, I was thinking about getting the Sabre Tactical monopod. However, using the bag, you can squeeze the bag to elevate the back of the rifle up and down just by squeezing it. So that makes it just very accurate for when you're aiming at certain targets. And then at the front of the rifle, I've gone for the Sabre Tactical bottle clamp, which means I can actually mount my bipod further forward, which gives me better stability than rather having the bipod here in the middle of the rifle. Next thing I always do before a competition, I always check my air. So I look at the air gauge just to make sure my gun is full up. Now, I usually do this the night before. I actually got a great tip off my friend Gerhard, or Gerhard. He told me just to call him Gerhard. If you haven't seen his videos yet, go and check them out. I'll put like a little thing at the bottom of the screen for you to go to his Instagram. He makes some amazing hunting videos, and he also makes some really, really good tips and tricks videos, especially on his new channel, Shoot and Make Ready. So if you haven't already checked it out, go and check it out. But his little tip was fill your gun the night before, or this is when you get a brand new gun, give it a fill, leave it for an hour or so, mark off where the gauge is with a little piece of masking tape, and then just leave it for like 12 hours. And that way you'll see if the gun has any leaks or anything like that. So just in case you need to tighten up the bottle, tighten up your reg pressures or your air pressure or anything like that, all these gauges, give them a little tighten. Once I know that I've got air in the gun, I leave that overnight, so that's all filled up the night before. And then just before the competition, I'll fire a few shots just to let the air go through the system, make sure everything's running smoothly, because what you don't want to do is have a little bit of air either going through your little plenum or your second or first reg, and then you take a few first shots at some targets and they don't go where you expect them to. So yeah, take a few shots at a target first, maybe 5 or 6, just to get the fresh air going around the system and then get the gun sort of woken up and working properly. So one other thing I like to do before the competition, the night before, I like to just give my barrel a little bit of a clean, just put some barrel cleaner on the end of those and just run that through 3 or 4 times. Like I say, I do shoot a few either slugs or pellets before, just to make sure, like I said, to get the air running through the system. So that will sort of lead in the barrel a little bit. I don't give it a proper thorough cleaning. I just give it a little bit of a clean just to make sure there's nothing left inside. The next thing I want to talk about is ammo. Now, obviously you need to make sure before you go to the competition, get in touch with someone who's running the competition or someone else who is attending, someone that you may know or may not even know, you know, make new friends. But just double check what sort of ammo you're allowed to use. Now, I've been quite lucky. My sponsor's Pro Hunter. They always supply me with slugs before any competition. I'm very, very thankful for them. They are like family to me. Not like, actually, they are family to me. They always supply me with a fresh amount of slugs ready for anything, whether it's just going to the range or whether I'm going shooting, doing any pest control, or whether it's competition shooting. Now, I did check for the last 2 competitions that slugs were okay to use, and they were. So I've been using the 10.5 grain from Pro Hunter. They are 177 and they shoot out of this rifle phenomenally. I don't have a slug liner in this gun. However, they do shoot perfect. I'll actually put a little video in one of these corners up here showing you a group I shot yesterday. Now, the only reason they're shooting a little bit higher than where I'm aiming is because I actually left my turret at 40 yards and I was shooting at 30, so that's my error. But you can still see, had I've dialed it to 30 and they were hitting where I wanted them to go, the group is still perfect. I can't remember how many shots, 5 or 6, maybe more, but they all hit pellet on pellet, and that is more than, it's just even smaller than a 5p piece, more like a little fingernail. So they do shoot phenomenally. However, obviously, if you are not allowed to use slugs and you have to use pellets, now I've gone and got myself a pair of these little scales, and I did actually take the time to sit down and weigh a lot of pellets and go through and sort them just to make sure they were perfect. I was using JSB exacts at the range the other day. However, it's quite windy and I'm so used to shooting slugs that just hold their own in the wind. Shooting the pellets, it was a little bit trickier. I forgot, you know, to hold for the wind and things like that. However, slugs do just hold their own and they do fly a lot straighter than pellets in the wind. They have a higher BC, so that is the reason why. One very important tool that I've realized that you would definitely need the morning of a competition, just in case there is any hiccups, is like a little tool like this, just full of all the different Allen key sizes, just in case you need to make any adjustments to your scope, to any sort of add-ons that you may have, tighten up any bipods, things like that, just to make sure everything is tight, everything is secure on your gun, just so you're ready, because what you don't want is like a wobbly scope. These fixtures could come loose, or you might have a loose buttstock, just so everything is nipped up tight and everything is ready for the competition. So obviously now you're at the competition, you're getting ready to shoot, you take your place at the bench. Now, hopefully all your trajectory validations, all your sort of time spent at the range zeroing in, everything, you've got everything sort of, you know, adjusted how you like it. Everything is ready to go. You obviously just need to do what you know best, and that is just shoot. Adjust for the wind. Don't sort of panic too much. Just focus on what you're doing and just have fun with it. You know, everyone is there at the same time. You get along with so many people, and the best part is you can only do your best. And you know, for me, my last competition, I actually took 3rd place. I'll put a little photo up here of the medal I got. Yeah, I took 3rd place, and in all honesty, I had no idea that I was going to be even in the top 5, let alone come 3rd. You know, it was just one of those times where I was quite lucky. I spent a lot of time validating everything, spending a lot of time at the range, knowing my holdovers, hold unders, just in case there was no sort of allowance of using your turret, so you can make adjustments. So I did spend a lot of time, and the other thing that's helped me do that and helped me learn my holdovers and hold unders is I've actually got one of these side shot scope mounts. Now you just put the bracket on your scope and you simply just push these on, just like that. And then all you do is you put your phone inside, or your GoPro, depending on which mount you've bought. You still look through the eyepiece just the same as you would with a normal scope. However, everything is being filmed for you. So for me, all I can then do is go back, review the footage, and at 50 yards, I'm holding over by 2 or 3 mils. By 60 yards, you know, the same sort of thing, whichever it may be. But that is one thing that's definitely helped me improve, especially for competitions, if you're not allowed to use turret adjustment. So I can go back, review the footage. I can also go back and review the footage just to see where I've made errors, where I've made mistakes, and learn from them mistakes. That's the only thing you can do. So in order to improve, just sort of do your study and put your work in, put the time in, and just practice. Practice is everything. You can practice indoors at an indoor air range, but the moment you're outside in the elements where you've got wind, maybe a bit of rain, or it's really hot, you know, different temperatures can alter the air in your gun, which can make things shoot differently. I mean, obviously this has 2 regulators, so it may shoot a bit more consistent than an unregulated rifle. But obviously the best thing to do is just practice. Try and practice outdoor as much as possible. If you practice indoors, the moment you go outdoors for a competition, you're going to battle the elements straight away. You're not going to know what you're doing with the wind. You're just used to shooting inside a building. It's just not going to be great for you. So definitely get outside as much as possible. If you are interested in any Pro Hunter slugs, just send them a message on Instagram. I'll put a little thing down here so you can follow them. I'll also put their website in the description. You can go on the website, send them a message. They do lots of calibers, all different grain weights, and they are the UK's #1 and first company to do sub 12 foot-pound slugs. Now, a lot of slug shooters out there thinking you probably can't shoot slugs out of a sub 12 rifle. I promise you can. Yes, you can shoot slugs from a sub 12 rifle. They don't just have to come from a high power rifle. I've shot these slugs out of 3 different rifles. I had 2 Kraus and I've had this. I've also shot them out of a Hatsan AET 4410, I believe it was called. And they all shoot perfectly. Just give them a try. I promise you won't be let down. Pro Hunter are an amazing company and they will try and do the best they can for you. If you have a request for a certain caliber or a certain grain weight, they will try their best to see if they can accommodate that for you. But give them a try. There are a few companies out there that are making sub 12 slugs. However, these guys have been doing it for the longest and they were the first. And I promise you the quality of these slugs will not let you down. Believe me. Don't just take my word for it. You've seen the video earlier. Buy a sample pack, give them a try. That is it for this video, guys. I'm gonna leave a little clip up here of me the other day at the range. This was me just sort of messing around, trying to practice a little bit of speed shooting. I'm not entirely sure I got the parallax correct on the scope. So when the footage recorded, it might be a little bit blurry. But this is basically me just practicing sort of speed shooting like they do at RMAC, just going from one side and back. Just to see how quickly I could shoot the targets, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I actually can't wait for a speed challenge. Like, that is the one competition that I'm excited about. So hopefully with any luck, I will be heading over to South Africa later in the year or early next year to go and hang out with Gerhard. We have some plans to just go hunting and basically experience everything that South Africa has to offer. He has told me that he'll be heading over to the UK at some point, so hopefully we can get a bunch of us UK shooters all together and go out for a nice big hunt and hang out and have a great time. But that is it for this video, guys. It's a bit of a short one. I just wanted to talk about my setup. Obviously your rifle may differ, that's not a problem, but you can still take into account all those different things. Practice, try shooting outdoors, just make sure all the preparation is done to your rifle. Everything is sort of, you know, your barrel's nice and clean, you're full of air. The worst thing you could do is turn up to a competition with no air supply and a gun with no air in it. But yeah, just take the time, put in the effort, and just spend a lot of time shooting. Track yourself. You know, if you've got a scope cam, put it on. Just review your own footage and just see where you can make little tweaks here and there. I promise you it does work and it really does help. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you're not subscribed, feel free to follow me. You can follow me here at Instagram. I'll put something just down here. Also, I still haven't named this rifle, so comment below what you think I should name the rifle. My last 2 guns have been named after characters from The Walking Dead, so maybe there's a time for a switch up. I don't know, but we'll see. Take care, guys. Peace.